Thought we'd take a look at BlueScope Steel. Hasn't come up for a while. It's snapping up Cornerstone Building Brands coil coatings business for $500 million as the company continues to expand its US footprint. The all-cash transaction will see BlueScope and Cornerstone enter into a long-term supply agreement. Shares creeping into the green this morning for BlueScope. Gaurav, good deal for BlueScope?
Before we begin, I have to lodge a complaint, I think.
Why are you lodging a complaint?
Every time we do stock of the day, and you pick stock of the day, we pick something where Mathan has got it over me. Where he's been right and I've been wrong.
I didn't realise that.
We've got a long history on BlueScope, and not a pretty one from my point of view. I would have been, our first clash on BlueScope would have been 5 or 6 years ago when this company has changed quite a bit. It's gone from being a really crappy business to actually reforming, adding on much better quality businesses. Management has been right on it, and I've been really slow to recognise that change. Mathan has been right on it, and he's been, he's going to remind me of that shortly. But he actually called this very well, very early. He said this business has changed and it's better, and I've come around. I think that's right. This is not a cyclical pig the way it used to be. Steel manufacturing should be a crappy business, and most parts of the world it is a lousy business because you have a commodity product and lots of competition and huge capital intensity. It should be a recipe for low returns. There is something going on at BlueScope. I have to have a good deep dive on this because there must be in some niche where they're riding these cycles out better than they ought to. The returns on capital are consistently higher than they should be, and those margins are being sustained. I don't really have an answer for that except to say that this business has changed, and I would like to get to the bottom of it. I just haven't had a chance to do that. But there is something going on here. This is not the crappy business it used to be.
Yeah, steel prices would help.
There's more than just that. Well, in the down, steel prices went through a really long trough, and this company actually did okay during that period. So they're clearly in a niche. I don't understand this market very well, but they're clearly in a niche where they have some sort of pricing power. All their management's very good at flexing what they produce.
Yeah. See, Sanjeev Gupta is a big Port Adelaide supporter, owns Whyalla.
Right.
And of course,
owns Whyalla.
GFG, you know, globally had all their refinancing issues because they were green cells, and thank God for the Australian operation with Whyalla pumping out sort of over capacity in a great market at the moment.
Before we get to Mathan, can I just defend myself a little bit before he starts and say a long experience in the market is often an advantage, but it can be a huge disadvantage. And for all of us who remember years of poor returns and poor management, I think that's really impacted the way we view this business. So if you're an investor who's looking for an idea, a long period of lousy performance and a set image of a business that suddenly changes, that's often a great starting point. And I fell for it this time.
And they are more efficient these days.
Go on, Mathan, have a gloat.
No, I'm not going to drag you through the mud. I mean, you already done it yourself. So, I mean, geez.
Type of bloke he is.
Look, the argument is obviously the steel prices are doing well. And you know that because you look at the dog which follows BlueScope is Sims Metal. And Sims Metal, I know this Gaurav hates it. Sims Metal and QBE, you always buy it when it's single digit. Because it's a matter of time. Everyone hates it at that point, and then it runs. It's now doubled. And that tells you how good the sector is running. But BlueScope, it reminded me back in the day when it turned, it's very much like Elders. It was an ugly business, and they were tripping over themselves. They were like Newcrest. You just knew there was something was going to go wrong. And then turned it around, and the operations have been really good. And they have been a solid upgrade cycle. And they're a very good business. But if you look at the steel ETF, you'll see how BlueScope is trading. It's pretty much follows it. They're really good operations. The US expansion has really added to it. They're expanding more and more. And so it's done really well. Do I want to chase it here? I think in the shorter term, I probably are a bit more worried about how the cycle plays out. There's too much construction commodities have done. And you look at property prices and what's happening in the US, that'll slow down. I mean, look at James Hardie. It's the best of the best. And that's coming off. So you know there's going to be weakness coming through. And China is in, 200 million people are in lockdown of some sort. So there will be slowdown in the short term. So I'm
so
not
if
jumping.
you've ridden it up, if you've followed your own advice, are you taking profits?
We already did.
Right, okay.
So that's we're not in it at the moment, but it's a great business model, and the management has executed as well as I've seen them for a long time. And so when the cycle turns, this will be right on the shopping list.
Right.
But it's not right now. And if you look at Sims Metal, you know, it's doubled, more than doubled. You've done really well, and the whole, I suppose, recycling has played into it as well.
Yep.
And so in that context, yeah, you've done well. Okay. You're happy to hold on. I just think where BlueScope is right now, short term, the risk return doesn't stack up.
Okay. All right, take some profits.